We putting work, turning nothing into something. They feelings hurt, we turning nothing into something. Give a fuck if they don't like me, cause all this bread I count excites me. Turning nothing to something, nothing into something. Turning nothing into something.
What up? What's going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to Blunt Thoughts episode 69. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing good. And first things first, hope everybody enjoyed the Super Bowl last night. So we got it started there with a little bit of my guy, Bad Bunny, which was the best part of the Super Bowl, if you ask me. I had no rooting interest. I could give a damn who won. I was rooting for Sam Darnold to have a good night. I really was. As a former New York athlete, I'm not a Jets fan. But I saw what he went through here. So I wanted to see the kid have a good night. And I know, Hector, what the hell are you talking about? How you going to open with football? This is a Mets show. This is Blunt Thoughts. Heck opens with whatever the hell he wants to open with. But that's what's recently happened. So, yeah, good Super Bowl. But to me, the best thing that happened, the best part of the Super Bowl was the performance by Bad Bunny last night. It was a great showing. For me, it was a great show. And it was just that. It was a great musical show. Like, that's what the halftime show is to me. I know recently, in recent years, it's turned into more of a political statement, a social statement, whatever it is the performer wants to do. But I'm not into all that. As a sports fan, I'm there to watch a game. And to be honest with you, the halftime is really when I take a break and maybe step away. And go get me my mind right. Do whatever I got to do. Use the restroom. Whatever the heck it may be. And depending on the act, maybe I tune in a little bit. But it's not like the halftime show is the main attraction for me. It's about the game. But this year, yeah, I was a little into it. I like the music. I do. But as a Latino, and yeah, I'm born and raised here in the U.S. See, I'm American by birth, right? But my grandparents, my parents, they're Dominican. And I grew up in that culture. I grew up in Washington Heights, as you heard there, which is why I played that, as Bad Bunny shouted it out. So when I watched that performance last night, and I see what we call the Frio Frio growing up, right? It reminds me of going to buy a Frio Frio on a hot summer day. In between playing games or whatever the hell we were doing out there. When I see the OGs playing dominoes, it reminds me of the OGs on the block playing dominoes, kicking knowledge. When I see the parties, the music, the kids sleeping on the chairs. I was probably that kid many times on a house party. So yeah. I enjoyed the celebration of our culture last night. And that's all it was for me. Anything else, I'm not here for that. But I know me, saying I enjoyed it. And then I made kind of a bold statement about F the haters. Because I really felt like that. And that's mainly to people saying, oh, how you going to have a Spanish-speaking artist at the Super Bowl? So what? Like, we understand every artist that ever sang at the Super Bowl. Like, I've been a fan of every artist that's ever performed at the Super Bowl. No, the hell I haven't. So again, you don't like it, don't watch it. There's been many I didn't watch. But to go in this campaign, like some people did against it, yeah, that was a little much. That was a little frustrating. But besides that, that's that. Dime a ver de lo mío, ¿qué es lo que? Shout out to my guy, Jay Fresh, man. And a happy birthday to my guy, Jay Fresh. But we're going to talk about a few things. I also want to talk about the baby Mets. Remember that? The baby Mets? Do we ever even think about them as the baby Mets anymore? Probably not, because they've grown up. But tonight, we started a little bit late. I do have a special guest. We are going to be introducing, I don't know if he's fully agreed to it, but he's going to agree to it. But we're going to introduce it tonight, a little segment we're going to have a little play on words on, and we're going to call it, What the Heck, Sal? See, because my friend Sal Licata, you know my guy Sal Licata, we'll bring him up here in a second. Sometimes he says things that makes us scratch our heads, like the NL East is over in May. And we were like, what the hell are you talking about, Sal? What the heck, Sal? And so on and so forth. And we don't want to say some of the things because he's going to want to kill me. And we only have him for a brief moment. But tonight, bring my guy up, Kweisi. Bring him up. Because what the heck, Sal, when he says, I don't care if Luis Robert hits 190 as long as he plays Gold Glove defense. And I'm like, what? Are you crazy? We ain't bring him here to give him $20 million and trade the guys for to be Tyrone Taylor. But explain yourself before we have this debate.
He's not Tyrone Taylor. I don't care.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, where'd you?
That was just like the radio, right? When I used to come in on fire and not even say hello.
Where'd you come up with the name for this?
You really want me to say where I came up with the name for this? You really want to say I came? No. You kind of came up with the name because we were talking about some things and we threw this name around.
Not kind of. I did. Anyway.
Yes, you did.
So here's the thing. I said 190 because I knew that was for effect. Like if I said, well, if he hits 220, whatever, I would expect him to almost hit 220 because that's his floor. But no matter what he does, his presence, like the comparison to Tyrone Taylor is wrong because his presence in the batter's box is better than anything Taylor has. He's a threat to go deep anytime he steps in the batter's box. His floor is 220, 15 homers, 20 steals. Like that's the floor. That's pretty darn good considering where the Mets center fielder has been. So I'm not hoping that he hits $190. What I'm saying is he's here primarily to shore up center field and be a Gold Glove defensive center fielder. Anything they get offensively, which I hope is a lot, is going to be a bonus. That's all. I don't know why you got to get all bent out of shape about it for.
No, because we got to have some fun, right? And when I hear that, I'm saying, listen, I know there's probably a little bit of, effect, like you said. At the same time, let's be for real here. If Luis Robert is hitting 190 in July, the first person going nuts is going to be Sal Licata on BNNY. Talk about, can we get this guy to hit more than 190? No, what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, and normally you may be right. Think about it, though. He could hit 190 and still hit 25 home runs. So would you not take the power threat? It's why I liked Jose Siri a year ago. The difference is Robert's actually a big league player. Jose Siri's a minor leaguer. And Siri actually hit 190. Like Siri's a 190 hitter with a bunch of strikeouts, but was supposed to be a threat to go deep when he stepped into the batter's box and played Gold Glove defense. We never saw that. Robert is supposed to be a much better version of that. So I love Roy Ordonez. He was one of my guys. You don't care what he hits when you get defense like that. Clearly, you're going to want Robert to produce some numbers offensively. I think he can. But if he doesn't, I'll tell you what I would go nuts about. I'd rather him play Gold Glove defense in center field. Let's say he doesn't. Let's say he's subpar defensively, but hits 250. That will piss me off. That's when I'll go nuts. His primary job is to play excellent defense in center field. That's what I want to see, and that's why I tweeted that. So I don't know why you're so. What are you so upset for already? This season, no. Going on here.
It's not upset. It's not upset. But yes, I think the difference is, like you said, the floor for him is much higher than and I apologize for the lighting. I had to use my light for something else. I know there's not much light here. Too bad. Just listen to what we're saying. But the floor, yes. But Tyrone Taylor can give us just about the same defense, and he was giving us that last season. And we still were hearing fans saying, hey, we need a little bit more than Tyrone Taylor in center field because he's giving us nothing as far as offense. So I know we expect this team to be better this year offensively. It has to be better. It can't be any worse than it was last year. We can't go 0 for 70, whatever the hell it was after the 8th inning, right? All of those things need to improve, and we know we bring here guys that are more professional hitters, you could say, better in the clutch, better situational hitting, runners in scoring position, so on and so forth. But if we're still going to count on those top 3 guys to carry the load, we're going to be in the same trouble that we were in last season. So, yes, if Luis Robert can give us 25, and I think that's the key, is provide that Gold Glove defense, but we are expecting that hopefully the change of scenery, better players around him, maybe better coaching can get us more of that 2023 guy, or maybe in between 2023 and his worst, and give us 25 to 30 home runs,
You
75, 80 RBIs.
You would sign right now for 250, between 240 and 250, between 20 and 25 home. You'd be a moron not to. Like, you have to.
Oh no, yeah. Yeah. We
Okay,
definitely
so
signed for that.
you're talking about 30 home runs. That's what I like about the Mets now, is that their lineup has a bunch of guys in it. Whereas last year, certain guys would come up and be like, no shot, just get us back to the top of the order. There were 3 guys that you trusted. Now it's on paper going in. We'll see how it plays out. But now going in, I like the fact that almost every guy, while they may not have the power that Pete had or that ultimate upside as the star players, basically 4 through 9 is going to have the potential at any moment to hit a ball out of the ballpark and change the game.
Absolutely. No, that's definitely exciting. We're still wondering where we're going to get that consistent power from, and I'm hoping that Mark Vientos could step up to be that guy, but we'll have a different conversation about that on a different day. For this year, I just wanted to be sure that you weren't completely buying into this guy being a 190 hitter as long as he gives me a gold glove, because there's no way in hell.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, you have my word. If he hits 190 but plays gold glove center field defense, I will not be upset with him. I know other fans might be. I will not. The other way would bother me. Hitting for a higher average but not playing gold glove defense. I want to shore up center field. With that being said, I don't think he's going to hit 190. I expect Robert. The one thing that I love in sports is consistency. Even though he's never been what he was at his peak, which was, all-star. So even though he's never been that, his floor should be 220, 15 homers, and 20 steals. That's what I like. So I'm banking on at least that, which is going to be a significant upgrade. So, no, I'm not expecting 190 or hoping for 190. I'm just saying that even if he does, which is worst case scenario, as long as he plays gold glove defense, we should be okay.
I think I would raise the floor a little bit on the home runs to maybe 20 home runs.
What I say? Well, the reason why I say 15. Okay, but because he's had, I think, 14 and then 15 in the last 2 consecutive years, but he's also been hurt. So if he plays, which, by the way, he's always hurt.
That's the biggest domino with him.
Okay, so if he plays 100 games, still, do the math on what the Mets got out of center field last year. 220 with 15 homers and 20 steals and gold glove defense is better than what the Mets put up last year in center field.
No, absolutely. And I'm just hoping that, and I know, to my thinking is, the Mets didn't bring him here to be that 190 guy. The Mets brought him here hoping that he can get close to that 2023.
Now, why were you
hoping
late?
that he can be that higher than, like you said, Jose Siri, which they brought in last year.
Why were you late?
I was part of another show. I was invited to do another show real quick with your boy Randy.
If you tell people you're going to be on at 9, you got to be on at 9.
You're right. But I'm not a professional like Sal is. I'm trying to.
I'm trying to teach you. I've been trying to teach you for years. Come on.
All right, get out of here, man. Have a good night. That is not what we bring you here for, man. It's not what we bring you here for. But listen, man, there it is. That was a quick segment that we're gonna call "What the Heck, Sal." That kind of went a little bit better than I thought. I thought we would battle a little bit there, but I knew there was a little bit of effect into that. And I'm telling you right now, there's gonna be much better ones than that one there. But just a little fun. Just wanted to introduce that again. A new segment to Blunt Thoughts, which we're gonna call "What the Heck, Sal." It's not gonna be on every Blunt Thoughts. He's gonna have to say something crazy. But guess what? That's my boy Sal. That's what he does. He likes to say outrageous things. And we like to have some fun with it sometimes. And sometimes we're just as outrageous as him and we'll agree with him. And other times we're not going to agree. And honestly, when I saw that, I was like, what do you mean? Are you nuts? 190? What are we talking about here? There's no way in hell that's what the Mets brought him in here to do. I totally understand the shoring up the defense and playing that gold glove center field and how the hell's going to help the rookie Carson Benjamin in left field and Juan Soto in right field. I get all of that. I really do. But 190? If you're going to hit 190, then I'm going to need 30 home runs. I'm going to need 30 home runs and 90 RBIs for you to hit 190. And that gold glove center field defense. But that's that. That's the thoughts on Luis Robert. And again, man, we wanted to just have a blunt thoughts tonight because we weren't able to have one last night because of that Super Bowl, which honestly was a dud. It really was. I couldn't even tell you a play about the Super Bowl. I couldn't tell you about a commercial during the Super Bowl because I don't care about that stuff. I watched for the game, and the game was boring as hell. The game was boring as hell. But I've had something on my mind, and it was a little busy today, so I didn't get to prepare as much as I wanted to. But I did want to talk about the baby Mets, ladies and gentlemen. And do you guys remember that? The baby Mets. The baby Mets were born when? I think in 2023. Help me out here if any of you guys know. But I think 2023 was when the baby Mets moniker came about. And about June, July in 2023. Let me see if I can find it here. And we're still waiting. We're still waiting. Oh my gosh. That's what's providing some light. This is terrible. We're still waiting for these baby Mets to kind of show up and really give us something. And when we're talking about the baby Mets, and they're not babies so much anymore, right? They're not babies so much anymore. But we are talking about Baty, Francisco Alvarez, Mark Vientos. And to me, they are as much a wild card to the season as anybody. They're as much a wild card to the season as much as anybody. As we're done with the what the heck sound. So let's get that out of here. If I can even find that. Because Francisco Alvarez is our starting catcher. And if anybody's secure on this team, right? Now, I don't want to say secure. And when I'm talking about them three. But if we're talking about trades or anything like that, you don't really hear Francisco Alvarez come up too much. There may be some people who say, you know what, maybe time to trade Francisco Alvarez because we're not going to really get what we thought we were going to get out of him. But I still think there's a lot there with Francisco Alvarez. I really do. But I think it starts with being healthy. It starts with being healthy, and then it continues with accepting who he is and what kind of hitter he wants to be at the plate and what kind of defensive player he wants to be behind the plate. But the behind the plate stuff, I think that's pretty much settled. I know he struggled a little bit with his defense last year. But we know what that is for the most part. But what is he at the plate is what we're not so sure. Is he a guy who's going to be able to use all parts of the ball field to maybe be able to hit 260? Drive you in 80 runs, 75 runs, 70 runs. Is he a guy that needs to pull the ball and concentrate on hitting home runs? Yeah. In June 2023, right? Francisco Lindor labeled them the baby Mets when they were out here showing and acting like they were going to be a part of us being able to do big things. And here we are 3 years later, and we're still wondering, what do we have with these guys? We're still wondering, what do we have with these guys? So with Francisco Alvarez, though, to me, it's more about staying healthy. If we could get him to stay healthy and get consistent at bats, and hopefully now with better coaching as far as hitting, better philosophy as far as an organization, hopefully he can find that consistency that has eluded him. Hopefully he can find that type of hitter that he needs to be. Because like I was just talking about with Sal, the same thing applies with Luis Robert as it does with Francisco Alvarez and Baty and a Mark Vientos. Right? What we don't want this season is to have the same questions and the same gripes that we had all of last season, that we had somewhat in 2024. until things got better. And that was the bottom of the lineup doesn't do enough. The bottom of the lineup is not consistent enough. Well, guess who's going to be in that bottom of the lineup? It's going to be Luis Robert. It's going to be a Brett Baty. It's going to be a Francisco Alvarez. It's going to be possibly a Mark Vientos. Because there will be days when all those guys are in the lineup at the same time. Whether it's Baty at first base, left field, and Vientos DH. How we doing the catching? We know Robert's going to be in center field as long as he's healthy every day. So what are these guys? Who are these guys? Is Brett Baty going to be able to be that super utility guy that we're going to ask him to be this year, possibly? Will we come into spring training and as much as they popping up Carson Bench, talking about giving Carson Bench a chance in left field, does Brett Baty take a hold of that position? Does he push Polanco out of first base and make Polanco the DH? And that makes Vientos a little expendable and a bench guy. We don't know. And again, where the hell do you play Mark Vientos? Does Mark Vientos hit enough in the WBC and in spring training where it forces them to put him in the lineup every day as a DH, as much as they may not want to do that because they want to keep the DH open and flexibility and all that good stuff? So I'm very interested to see what's going to happen with these guys. But to me, these guys are definitely a wild card. These guys are definitely a wild card. We could talk about the pitching. We could talk about the Manayas. We could talk about the Senga, Peterson. And all those guys are definitely X Factors, wild cards, whatever you want to call them, label them. But I think these three guys are very important. One, we need their production this season. We need their production. They're going to be a big part of the Mets' success, if there is any. But also, are they worth keeping around going forward? Or do we need to start moving away from these guys? And then you get into the value stuff, right? And what can you really get for them? Mark Vientos has no value. Brett Baty has some value. But is that value higher for the Mets than it is for anyone else? Brett Baty has more promise and can play multiple positions, while BBC isn't a good representation of whether you should choose to keep Baty or Vientos. You're right. It isn't. For me, it's more about him feeling good about himself and being able to carry that into spring training, have himself a good spring training, and just force their hand a little bit. See, you could say WBC isn't a good representation, and you're right. At the same time, it's a great representation in the aspect of the level of competition may not be as high, but it could be high. Depends on what team you're playing. But we know the intensity level is definitely there. We know the intensity level is definitely there. Much different, much higher than it is in spring training. We know that. And I know that could be a problem to some people, as some people feel like this means too much to these guys. But yeah, that's what I mean with that. But you're right. You're not going to solely go based on WBC. But like I said, with my guy Randy flipping top, shout out to those guys. Shout out to Randy who had us on his show. I was on there. That's why I was late. And some of you may know that. Some of you were watching that as well. Gosh, I just lost my train of thought because I saw something here on the screen. But shout out to those guys nonetheless. Shout out to those guys nonetheless. But we're gonna see, man. I think these guys are very important. I really do. Yeah, it's great to have the professional hitters in Bichette and Polanco. How much can we expect out of Marcus Semien? Right? We don't know. We don't know what we're gonna get. He's on the older side, right? More than anything, I think it applies to him what Sal is saying about Robert, where we don't really care so much what we get out of Semien offensively, as long as he gives us that up the middle defense and gives us a good combination, a good double DP combination with Francisco Lindor. I could sign up more for that than a Robert. But I think these three kids are going to be huge. I think these three kids are very important. And I'm anxious to see what they become now with this different staff, with a different philosophy, with hopefully a better philosophy as far as hitting is concerned. Right? None of this nonsense, Jeremy Barnes will let a ball that we can put in play, we can hit, and possibly hit for a hit. We'll let it go by because we want to find a ball that we can hit out the ballpark and do damage with. I'm hoping that all that stuff helps. Different vibes. Another year alongside Juan Soto. Learning from him. But it's time for these kids to grow up and show what they really are. It really is. Yeah, it's going to be important. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. There were a lot of changes made. And not every team that wins the offseason, and I don't know if we can say the Mets won the offseason or not, but they got good grades. You're right about that. They didn't look like much of a team last season. But hopefully it doesn't take too long. Hopefully all these guys that come with this high reputation about leadership, good clubhouse guys, help so that it doesn't take too long. And yeah, I agree. I wouldn't say that it hinges. I think it hinges more on the pitching and whether Sean Manaea and Kodai Senga could bounce back. But Luis Robert definitely goes a long way. And Polanco adjusting to first base definitely is a huge part of what the hell's going on here. Listen, let's think about this. We got Bo Bichette going to go play third base for the first time, right? Whom we've heard whose arm may be the biggest problem. The range that he didn't have at shortstop don't really necessarily need at first base, right? I mean, at third base. But the arm can be an issue. And just adjusting to a different throw, a longer throw, right? Is having an inexperienced first baseman like Polanco there gonna hurt him? Where he may need help sometimes? We'll see. Excuse me. We got Francisco Lindor, who had another arm procedure, right? Which is why he's not at the WBC. Second one in about 3 years. Whom we've seen lately, his arm tailing off a little bit. Don't kill me here. Just be honest. You've seen it. Is it going to hurt him having a guy like Polanco at first base? Because say what you want about Pete Alonso. But Pete Alonso was good. At them scoops and all that. And helping his infielders. And then Marcus Semien, whatever. That's right there. Having Polanco shouldn't affect him. Unless Polanco just gets in his way. Right? Unless Polanco just gets in his way. So, We'll see how that Polanco plays out. Listen, there's a lot of reason to be excited about this team, and we'll get into this as spring training gets going here. The Mets report, I think is I forget exactly what day, so I'm not even gonna say. But we get into different parts of it, player by player, stuff like that. Whatever, we'll have some fun as we start seeing these guys start playing and stuff. As games get started later on in the month, and just the workouts, and we get reports or whatever, we'll have a better grasp. But as excited as we are about a lot of things about this team, as much as it's changed with this team, one thing still remains. There's still a lot of question marks as it pertains to the New York Mets. There's still a lot of question marks within this pitching staff. Just named a couple of them. And Senga and Manai. Who are these guys? Will they be healthy? Who's David Peterson? How's Clay Holmes going to bounce back from his first year starting in, 7 years, whatever the hell it was? Is Nolan McLean going to be able to sustain what he showed last year in a brief window that we got into him? I just talked about the baby Mets. How will these guys adjust to playing in New York? All of these new guys, the Bichettes, the Polancos, the Simeons. I expect Soto to be much more impactful than he was in 2025. I'm sorry. Don't talk to me about the back of the baseball card. So there's a lot of question marks on the 2026 New York Mets. A lot of excitement. And there are a lot of things that are going to be better. Like we just said a little while ago. Can't be much worse. You can't go 0 for 70, whatever the hell it was, again, after 8 innings, when trailing after 8. You can't do that again. Hopefully, you're not in that situation as much as you were because you're better. But there still are tons of question marks with this team. There really are. They really are. When I answered a few of your questions, again, we just wanted to do this real quick because we didn't have a show last night and we weren't able to prepare as much as we would have liked. But we thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, the few of you that have joined us. We appreciate it. We really do. Shout out to my guy, Jay Prince, who says, NFGM, what the heck, Sal? Laugh aloud, that's hilarious. Both your names in it. Yep, that was the idea. Y'all should trademark it. Listen, I didn't really want to get into it, but say like, oh, I came up with it. Like, he came up with it because we were talking about doing a podcast together, but we had to shelve that for a while. That we were in the conversation of doing that. And since that didn't happen, they laid that, but I said, you know what? Let's have a segment and we'll call it What the Heck, Sal. So that's where that came from, since he wants to talk about it. I didn't think we were going to put that out there. Let's see what else we got here. There was another thing that I wanted. Okay. What do you think of comments made by Eric Chavez? He criticizes the Mets for dismantling a team that was 2 games from reaching the World Series a couple of years ago. I didn't see all of the comments. I generally don't like to react to stuff like that unless I've seen it for myself in the context of the comments, right? Because sometimes you get a little excerpt or whatever the case may be, and you don't really get a full grasp of what the person was trying to say. But truthfully, I don't care. That's really how I feel about it. That's really what I think. I don't care. I don't care. And some people share in that, right? There's some fans that are still frustrated that the Mets dismantled a team that was 2 games from reaching the World Series. I was one of them initially, right? And not that they dismantled it, because I understood that there needed to be some change. And I would have been okay with some change, but I didn't think we needed all the change that we got, right? I would have liked to see Pete back. I really would have. At the same time, I've said this many, many, many times, I'd be a hypocrite if I ignored the fact that I myself questioned this core many times. And I myself questioned whether we can continue on with this team the way that it was, and whether we would ever be able to win a World Series with this team the way that it was put together. So, yeah, we could say that this team was 2 wins away from reaching the World Series, but it didn't. And the truth is, whether we like to admit it or not, there was a lot more failure than success with this group. And we'll see how it plays out. But maybe the right thing was to move on and go in a different direction. Now, only time will tell. The game is not played here on Blunt Thoughts or on paper. It's played on dirt and grass beginning March 26th. We'll see how it goes. Mets have a lot of problems this season. Hopefully no one gets injured. Absolutely. 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 Yeah, because I think they have enough depth right now where paying and keeping a Griffin Canning around is just not worth it. The value is just not there. When you have the young guys that we have in the wings waiting to come up. When you have a guy like Christian Scott making his way back who looks great by all accounts. When you have the Wenningers in AAA. When you have the Jonathans. And you already have 6 viable guys that you need to find time for. Again, like you said, though, if everyone is able to stay healthy, right? That's the key. If everyone is able to stay healthy. And we hope that's the case. That's the most important thing. And that's another thing. And I've talked about it before here on Blunt Thoughts. What we may have gained in average and WAR and clutch and scoring precision, all that good stuff, I hope is not offset in a negative way by games played or lack thereof, or like they like to say nowadays, not posting enough. We need these guys to post. We need these guys to post to be able to be effective. Yo, Junior, my guy, you a jackass. I just saw this. You a jackass. Mets and Braves talk? No Mets and Braves talk. Just, stop hating on my guy, Sal. Do you think Clay Holmes will be able to go deeper into innings this season? We need more from him in case our starters don't give long innings. We need all of the guys. Again, shout out to Randy and these guys. We were talking about that a little bit, and I think I may still have it up here. More importantly, see, we just brought in Freddie Peralta, who people think, oh, we're going to get innings. Freddie Peralta, I believe, averaged 5 1/3 innings per start last year. Freddie Peralta pitched a total of 176 2/3 innings last year. David Peterson, in contrast for the New York Mets, pitched 168 innings. Clay Holmes was second in innings on the New York Mets with 165. 165 2/3 for Holmes, 168 2/3 for David Peterson. So, yeah, could they give us more innings? Absolutely. Could they go deeper in games? Absolutely. But you know what we need more of? Really? We need Kodai Senga to give us more than 113 innings. We need Sean Manaea to give us more than 60 innings. That's what we need. And then we'll see how many innings we get out of Nolan McLean, right? We'll see how many innings we can get out of Nolan McLean. But I think that's the more important thing is we need more innings out of Manaea and Kodai Senga. And yes, it'd be nice to see Clay Holmes and David Peterson also be able to give us a little bit more innings, also be able to go deeper in games. We'll see if Freddy Peralta could go deeper in games. Like I was saying with the guys earlier. Was Freddy Peralta only going 5 1/3 innings on average per start because of the Milwaukee Brewers holding him back, or because he's not capable of going further? We'll find out. I don't know. You listen to the experts talk about it, and they talk about it's a Milwaukee thing. But we know from watching baseball that it's a baseball thing nowadays, where they limit all of these guys to the point that, for the most part,
it makes me sick.
And I'm sure it does the same for you guys, because we want to see guys pitch. We want to see guys pitch. And if you're old as I am, you're used to guys going 7, 8 innings in their sleep. And now we celebrate when a guy goes 6. So those are other X factors. Those are other wild cards. But we need more innings out of those guys. We definitely need more innings out of those guys. Let's see anything else here. I don't see anything else in here. So I think on that note, we're going to shut it down. Again, we just want to real quick check in as more people are coming in. Now, sorry, you're late to the party. The party started late, but it still started close to 9 o'clock, as we said. Wish we had more of you in here. And if you're late, go back, watch the replay. About 9:15 or so, our buddy Sal joined us for a new segment we're going to call, what is it? You already know what it is. What the heck, Sal? Kweisi's sleeping right now. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He's having too much fun somewhere back there with somebody. All I see him is laughing and stuff. I don't know who the hell he's talking to. Don't be waving me away. It's blunt thoughts, damn it. Don't make me bring you on camera. My man just walked off. Oh, man. What's up, Joe? Joe says, are you surprised that Senga's still here? A little bit. A little bit. Gotta be honest, a little bit. It looked like they were definitely going to trade him, but I don't know if it's because he asked to stay here. I don't know if it's because they couldn't find anybody to trade him to. Right? But I'd say I'm a little surprised. Now I'm just rooting for him. Listen, he asked to stay. Go out there and show why you wanted to stay. And finally give us what the hell we've been waiting for. But yeah, I'm a little surprised to answer your question. Absolutely. Listen, first, we got to get to Devin Williams. And then we'll worry about if we can save as many games as Edwin Diaz. But let's not act like Edwin Diaz was a short thing, man. Here on Blunt Thoughts, we labeled it the Edwin Diaz experience whenever Edwin Diaz went out there on the mound. Because we were never sure what the hell we were going to get. Sometimes it was smooth. A lot of times it was anything but that. But more importantly, if we're only going to get 5 innings out of our starters, then we better hope we put a better bullpen together than what we had last season. So that we can get the games to Edwin Diaz. I mean, to Devin Williams. No doubt, Steven, no doubt. No doubt. Never late. I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. Are you surprised they got rid of Jeremy Hefner? Mendoza got a whole new staff, and I doubt he had a choice in picking them. I am a little surprised about Hefner. I have to admit. I am, and I appreciate the questions. Thank you so much. I am a little surprised that they got rid of Hefner. When we open up the phone lines, call in and ask these questions. We will be opening up the phone line soon. Not tonight, soon, but soon in the possibly the next show. Sorry, distracted again. I comment on the screen. But yeah, I'm a little surprised they got rid of Hefner. You know, Hefner was highly touted. You know what I'm saying? And I do wonder how much Mendoza had his hand in the changing of the coaching staff. I don't know if we'll ever find out. But I definitely hope he had a choice in picking them. I know you say you have doubts, but I hope he had more of a choice than he did last time. Although some of them, we know they were organizational choices. Like the guys that got promoted from within and stuff like that. I'm sure he sat in on conversations, but those were just like, yo, this is what we're doing here. And I do wonder if the firings were all like, yo, this is what we're doing. Or was it like, yo, come in, what do you think? This is what we're thinking. Da-da-da-da-da. Or did he say, hey, I think maybe we should go in a different direction as far as pitching coach or hitting coach or whatever? I don't know. Shout out to Petey who says, yo, heck, my two boys love when a Soto song played them. Oh, yep. They recognize that, huh? That's funny. Worst move Stearns made was not re-signing. I wouldn't say worst move, but yeah. I mean, he probably should have re-signed them last year. The worst move was probably signing Frankie Montas instead of Severino. That was probably the worst move. But yeah, he definitely could have easily been our third starter. Shit, last year he might have been our ace. One Singer got hurt. That's the truth. That's the truth. Let's see. But yeah. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate every single one of you. Beautiful people. Don't forget, man, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you're on the YouTube, if you're not on the YouTube, it's okay. It's okay. One day you'll come over there. And let a friend, an enemy, let them know. There's a dope that every now and then does a stream, talks Mets. Every now and then he's fun. Sometimes he's boring. Sometimes he knows what the hell he's talking about. Sometimes he doesn't. Whatever it may be. But just come join the party. We don't like being alone. You know what I'm saying? We don't like being alone. Oh, Gio, I'm still not sure what the hell to call you. 13K, how about that? Says, do you think Peter Alonso, you just don't want to let me go today, huh? Do you think Peter Alonso will get it standing? Hell yeah, he better. He better. He better. Forget what I think. I demand we give Peter, but there's no question in my mind. Let me stop. There's no question in my mind that Pete will get that. For sure. And he deserves it. Listen, Pete was a great Met. Pete was a great Met. And in my opinion, should still be a Met, even if it wasn't a 5-year contract. But we're not going to get into that anymore because we've moved on. Pete's moved on. I've moved on. As a fan base, we need to move on, but I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. But yeah, except for I am here to tell somebody what to do or tell everybody what to do when it comes to whether we're going to give Peter a standing ovation. You damn right we're going to give Peter a standing ovation. And if you don't want to give Peter a standing ovation, then don't come out to the game that day. Straight up. That's what I would say. But Pete was a good Met, and he deserves it. Straight up. Again, appreciate everybody. Appreciate the questions. Really do. Helps the show go along. Probably would have been out of here in 30 minutes or so. But you guys had some good questions and gave us a little bit more time. But yeah, man. Huge wild card. The baby Mets. Baby Mets. A huge wild card. And we can't have, I don't give a damn what Sal says. We cannot have a 190 hitting Luis Robert. I don't give a shit if he plays the outfield by his damn self. We're going to need bet more than 190. And even Sal won't be happy. We will know damn 190. What's up, Rudy? What's going on, my guy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah. It is what it is, man. We got to move on. We got to move on, Game 4. We got to move on. Just like I got to move on and go to bed. So on that note, you already know what it is, everybody, man. No matter what the hell is going on, but pretty soon there's going to be some baseball going on, and we can't wait, baby. We can't wait. As I should know the exact date, but I don't. You really? I'm going to... An apology for what? Hold on. What exactly am I going to owe him an apology for? For saying that we can't have a 190 hitting Luis Robert? I didn't say that's what he's going to do. I'm saying that's not what we brought him here to do. I'm saying we brought him here with the expectations that he's going to be more of the 2023 Luis Robert. So I'm not going to owe him no damn apology. He's going to owe us an apology if he plays 90 games and hits 190. How about that? Come on, Steven. See? Was it you that you said that you were never late? You go watch the replay. No, that wasn't you. Was that you? Yeah, that was you. That's what you get for being late. You think I'm being anti-Luis Robert. I'm not being anti-Luis Robert. I'm just saying Sal's out of his mind if he thinks 190 is good enough. Hell no. Yeah. We definitely brought him here to produce. That's what I'm hoping for, Rudy. Turn back the clock to that 1 year. I don't even like saying turn back the clock because we don't know what the hell that guy is. But that 1 year was pretty damn good. What was it, 38 home runs? Let me see. Do I still have him up here? I don't have him up here, but we can find him real quick. I think. Yep. What was that great 2023? Because it was 38 home runs, 90 RBIs. Yeah, we signed up for that. But it's only been 1 year. But we definitely signed up for that. With a 264 average. And Sal's right. Like, he's never been a 190 hitter. Like, 220 or so is what we should expect. But he should have said that. Fucking effect. But 38 home run, 90 runs, 80 RBIs, 20 stolen bases. Yeah, I'd sign up for that. Hell yeah. How many doubles? 36 doubles. Yep. Now, 172 strikeouts. No bueno. No bueno. But you guys ain't gonna keep me here all night, man. I gotta get out of here. We hope so. Not just Juan Soto, but just being around a better team. And from what I've read, it's never been a question of putting in the work or anything like that with him. It's more about staying healthy. He hasn't just been able to stay healthy. That's been the problem. Not been able to stay healthy. So if he's able to stay healthy, hopefully with our A1 medical staff, we're able to keep him healthy. And he's able to go out there and produce. Because we're going to need it. All right, y'all. That's enough. No mas. Everybody have a good night. Thanks again for joining us. We're going to start doing a lot more shows now. I know during the offseason, we stick to Sunday nights. During the season, we'll do a lot more during the season. But now, again, like as spring training gets going, more stuff starts happening, more things to react to. We're going to start doing a little bit more shows. We definitely plan on doing some watch-alongs during the WBC. We know for those of you that are fans of the watch alongs, we're going to be bringing that during the season. We will be doing some of that during the WBC. I think we're definitely going to be doing some DR joints. And I think it's DR versus Nicaragua might be the first game, or is it Netherlands? One of those two. We'll be doing that. We'll maybe do some US because, US is like our second team. But we're definitely going to try to do all the WBC games and all that good stuff. Other than that, everybody have a good night. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for getting involved. Shout out to Sal for joining us. Again, whenever Sal says something crazy, there's a good chance we'll see him here and we'll get his real blunt thoughts. I know you see Sundays with Sal and Sal over here and Sal over there, but there ain't going to be no more realness and no more bluntness than here on Blunt Thoughts, where we're going to really hold him to the fire and get the real truth. So, something... Team, you know what, Rudy? There are like 4 Mets on Team Israel, so Team Israel might be my third team. Except that we may not be rooting for no much more longer than the pool play, right? Because if they get out of pool play, it'll be a miracle. But there are like 4 Mets on Team Israel, as there are 17 Mets participating in the World Baseball Classic. Can you believe that? And obviously, not all of them on the Major League roster. It's only about 4 or 5 of those guys, right? You got Soto, Brazoban, Holmes, and McLean. Appreciate you, Steven. Appreciate you, man. Don't be a stranger. Come back. But I'm not from Queens. Washington Heights, baby. All day, every day. Shout out to Queens, though, as they host my favorite team. Appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. Now, no doubt, we don't take nothing personal here. It's all in fun. Hey, blunt thoughts is for all of us. I got blunt thoughts, you got blunt thoughts. Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we won't. Sometimes we'll make it a little heated exchange. Tomorrow we laugh about it. Most of the time, I'll probably be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, it's all in fun. You're Puerto Rican. I'm Dominican. It doesn't matter. Most importantly, we're all humans and we're all Met fans. And on that note, have a good night, everybody. You already know what it is. All day, every day, no matter what the hell is going on. And let's go Mets. Do your thing, Kweisi.
Full of animals and we made ourselves with minimal. Fuck you, no subliminals. Putting in this work, nigga. That's why they feelings hurt, nigga. Swear we need a hearse cause we rep our shites to the dirt, nigga. If I'm in the club, I'm